Hey folks, this is Todd Lewis with All Things Open. I'm on location today in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at the Raleigh Convention Center. This is a site of the conference coming up in October. The purpose of today is to give you a real quick tour of the venue itself, but also to demonstrate or to show you some of the safety protocols we're going to have in place in October. We want you to be as safe as possible when you visit with us. We know a lot of you are concerned. We're concerned as well. We share those concerns with you. So we are going to do everything we can. We want to show you what we're doing today. And again, we're going to show you the venue itself step by step so you'll know exactly what to expect once you get on site. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. Come on. Hey everyone, okay, we're here at the first stop, which is the parking garage. For many of you visiting us in October, this will be your first stop because you're driving in town and you're going to need a place to park. Some of you will be walking in. A lot of people live within the downtown area. They generally walk, but I would say the majority of people probably drive here either from the RTP or from out of the area. So if you're driving in, we recommend the parking garage, which is this facility on Lenore Street. Very easy to find. It's located just next door to the Raleigh Convention Center. The convention center is literally right there, which we're going to show you in just a second. So again, if you're planning to visit, you'll start right here. Again, the parking garage on the Lenore Street side. Okay, with that said, let's go to the next stop. Hey everybody, okay, now we're on the way to the convention center. We just left the parking garage. I want to make a minor pit stop here just to show you we're again right across from the convention center, but I did want to show you the Raleigh Marriott Residence Inn. So the Marriott Residence Inn is literally right here. So while you're visiting the conference, while you're visiting us in October, you can stay at any of the hotels located downtown. This one happens to be the Residence Inn. There are two others that we're going to show you before we leave today. And again, it's extremely convenient and literally right next door to the convention center. So with that said, let's head on over to the convention center now and we'll show you more. All right, so we're walking across the street to the convention center now. You can see it's a really short distance, so really here we are, right? This is the end, this is the edge of the convention center. And we're going to go up these steps, which is going to put us right on the patio, the front patio area, which is just large. It's expansive, gives you a lot of room to move around, just super nice. This will be where you enter the convention center. All the other entrances are going to be closed, but this one will be open and everyone will enter and exit through this entry, through this entry and exit point. I want to kind of funnel everybody through. Okay, so you can see how short that was, right? That was an extremely short walk. Very, very short distance over to the convention center. So again, everything in downtown Raleigh is extremely convenient, which I know benefits everyone involved, right? It keeps the walk times to a minimum in case of bad weather and things like that. Maybe it's too hot, maybe it might, let's hope not, but it could even rain. But in that case, again, we're very lucky in that everything really is located close together. So, all right, everyone, we're now on site at the convention center. We just walked across the street from the parking garage, and now we're on site. So this is where you're going to go first. You're going to be outside at the primary entrance doors, as you can see them right behind me. You can also see the patio out here. There's a really nice patio area. Obviously, it's outdoors, which is great. It's going to serve our purposes very well. So let me tell you a little bit about what you're going to encounter once you reach this point. Number one, we're going to have the wellness check station on site outside. That will be your first entry point. Again, the wellness check station will consist of a health questionnaire. You're going to have to answer some questions to verify that you haven't been in contact with anyone with COVID, that you don't have a fever, that you feel good, et cetera, et cetera. So that is going to be set up right over here. And again, we'll have stanchions set up. It'll be very orderly, very organized, but you'll be able to go right through. The lines will move very quickly. And then once you do that, again, you'll move right through. We also, if we do a vaccination requirement, which, we're heading in that direction, the vaccination requirement will also be included with the initial or the phase 1 wellness check. So you'll successfully get through that, and then we'll be ready to head indoors. So with all that said, again, the wellness check station right over there. Also want to take just a moment to point out a couple things. This outdoor area, again, wide open, lots of space to move around. This will also serve as a networking area for the event. So during the conference, if you want to get outside, if you maybe don't want to wear a mask, there is no mask requirement outside on the patio. If you meet someone, you want to network or talk, sans the mask or minus the mask, you can certainly do so out here. You can come out, walk around. We have a lot of people that come out on the patio and get something to eat or drink or just relax, have people that come out smoke, do whatever they might want to do. outside. The other thing I want to point out to you are the location of the hotels. Again, I just showed you the Residence Inn, which is just across the street that way. Also want to show you the Sheraton and the Marriott Hotel and how close they are. The Marriott Hotel is literally just across the street, and you can see that. And then over here to the left, you'll see the Sheraton Hotel. So those are the three primary hotels for this conference, the Sheraton, the Residence Inn, and the Marriott. And again, as hopefully we've done a good job of showing you, they're all very close to the conference venue. They're within very easy walking distance in case of inclement weather, etc. Final thing I promise, we are going to have tents set up out here during the conference in case of inclement weather, in case it rains or something like that. So if you want to step outside, and if it happens to be raining, we'll have a covered area for you also. So the wellness check-in station is already going to be covered. They will also have additional networking tents set up so that you can do all of your networking or just relaxing or eating outdoors. You won't be required to do that indoors. We know that's very important to a lot of people. Again, we've gone through the wellness check station, we've successfully answered the questions, we've been verified, and we're now ready to head indoors. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, we're now inside the convention center. We just passed through phase 1 of the wellness check station. That was outside. Again, we went through a health questionnaire. We answered 3 or 4 health-related questions. We had vaccination verified. Any verification that was required, we did so outside the building. And we then proceeded inside to station 2, or part 2 of the wellness check station, which is the temperature check. We actually are going to digitally take your temperature to make sure that you are at or under a certain threshold. And for the purposes of our event, that threshold is 100.3 degrees. So in order to gain entry and actually get into the conference area, you're going to have to be at or under that temperature, again, 100.3. So I'm actually going to do that in just a second. Also want to point out that once you successfully pass through the temperature check, we will have people here that will band you, that will give you a band to put around your wrist that verifies you've successfully completed the wellness check process. So again, everybody will be wearing their band. The colors of those bands will differ based on the day that you're here. So maybe the color for day 1 might be blue, and the color for day 2 might be red. Those are just examples, but we do want to have different colors each day. We don't want someone using the same band day over day, because as we all know, health conditions can change by day or day over day. So we want to prevent that from happening. With all that said, I'm going to actually show you and have my temperature checked just as you will when you're on site in October. So here we go. Just going to walk through.
Normal temperature. Please.
Hold your wrist up, and it is immediate. It happens very, very quickly. In this case, my temperature was 97.6, which is well under the 100.3 threshold. So in that case, I'll be able to pass through. Someone, day of the conference in October, will be here to give me a band or place a band around my wrist, and then I will then be free to pass through. At this point, I do want to mention one other thing. There will be a face covering mandate in place at All Things Open this year. So we happen to have masks sitting right here. So we will have masks and face coverings available for you on site. So we know at this point that most people have them. Everybody has invested in probably a good mask at this point. You're welcome to bring your own mask if you want. But just know, if for some reason you forget it, or if you'd like to get another one, or maybe even more than one, we will have many of them here. Sponsors will be providing them, we will be providing them, and we'll be working very closely with the Convention Center and the City of Raleigh to make sure that we're giving you masks, et cetera, and that we're meeting all of the standards and protocols that are currently in place. So with all that said, again, I've already successfully had my temperature checked. I'm now going to roll right through to the next station, which is going to be registration and check-in. Okay, so I need you to use your imagination, right? We just passed through temperature check, or phase 2, the final phase of the wellness check process, and we just stepped forward, 10, 20 feet, something like that. And day of the conference, during the conference, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we will have registration and check-in kiosks located right here. Again, we'll have stanchions set up. It'll be very orderly. It'll be very organized. We'll have people here to help you. Our volunteers will be here to help you get through. People will be moving very quickly. We're not going to have people standing in line or backed up or closely, spaced close together. We want to keep people distanced and moving quickly during the event, especially this year. So again, you will then come to the check-in. If you've already registered, you will just need to type in your last name. Your registration will be brought up, and then it will print your name tag. Your name tag will actually print out on site, and then a lanyard for you will be available right here at the station. So you'll be able to check in, or you'll be able to register. If you haven't registered, we'll have dedicated kiosks for registration specifically. But then once you register or check in, you'll be able to move right through, get your lanyard and your name tag, put that around your neck, and then you'll be ready to move through straight ahead, which will be where we're going to give away swag and conference bags and things like that. Again, this process differs a little bit from what we've done in past years, but we think it's going to flow well, it's going to be quick, and again, we're going to get people through in a hurry. So one final thing I want to mention here, I just want to give you an idea as to how big the Raleigh Convention Center is. We know that some of you that are going to watch this have not been here before, you've never attended an ATO, you've never been on site at the convention center. Some of you have, but maybe it's been a little while, maybe it's even been a few years. So for those of you, again, just want to give you a sense. In the lobby, this is a very large space. These ceilings, floor to ceiling, is about 55 feet. It's huge in here. It's very, very large. I didn't want anyone to think that once you get on site, we're going to host the conference in a very small, cramped space. I know, again, for some of you that may not have been here before, you might think that. Totally understandable, but that is not the case. This is a very large venue, lots of room to move around, lots of room to allow for social distancing. So again, I wanted to make it a point. It's pretty important. And again, hopefully the visuals will give you a sense of just how big this place really is. And now we're ready to head into the swag and the conference bag area. And for those of you that have attended before, you're familiar with this area, right? So in past years, we've set up exhibit tables in this area, in this space. We're not going to do that this year. We're not going to do that this year. There are not going to be any exhibit tables. As you can see, we're going to utilize this space for conference bags and for conference t-shirts. So after you've, again, come into the building, you've received your lanyard and your name tag, you're then going to proceed to this area. And if you're interested in a conference bag, you can actually get one along these walls. You can go left to right. We're going to set it up left to right. Conference bag, you can actually start right here, and you can move right down the line and get a t-shirt. We've designed the flow to move very quickly. The last thing we want this year is for people to be stuck in lines getting items as they have been in past years. That's not going to happen this year. So people will be here to help you. It'll be very orderly. It'll be, again, the process will flow quickly. We want to get you in and out very, very quickly. So again, get your lanyard and your name tag here. You come into this area, there will be tables set up, ready to go, conference bag distribution right here, and t-shirt distribution right here. A little different than past years, but we think a much better process given the COVID situation and the current environment. What we're doing now is we're going up to the 4th floor. So again, for those of you that have visited with us before, you've attended a conference, you know that the 4th floor is where we host keynotes. So all of our keynote sessions are always up in the 4th floor ballrooms. There are 3 ballrooms up on the 4th floor. They're very large, ballroom A, B, and C. Lots of space to move out, lots to move around, lots of space to social distance. And what I really want to do is show you the floor configuration, and again, just give you a sense as to how big this space really is. Okay, so we just came up the escalator. We're now on the 4th floor, right? This is where the ballrooms are. There are 3 ballrooms on the 4th floor. Those of you that have visited with us before, you're aware of that. These are very large rooms. We have ballroom A, ballroom B, and ballroom C. This is where we're going to host keynotes. We do every year up here, and also host some breakout sessions as well. Breakout tracks will be hosted in these ballrooms. The reason we're using or utilizing the ballrooms as much as we can this year is, again, you're going to get an idea as to how big these rooms really are, giving everyone ample space to move out, really to move around and to social distance from one another. This year especially, we think it's super important to do that. So with all that said, let's head into ballroom A. Okay, so I'm now in ballroom A. Here's ballroom B. And we've asked that the partition wall that typically separates A and B be taken down today just for us, because this is how it will be configured in October during All Things Open. So this will be the location of our keynote sessions and also for some of our breakout tracks. I think front-end dev and DevOps, those tracks will be located up here. And hopefully you can get a sense of just the perspective and the amount of sheer space that is available up here. These are very large rooms. Each of these ballrooms are 10 to 12,000 square feet. The ceiling clearance here, the ceiling height is anywhere from 30 to 40 feet. So these are very high ceilings, lots of space to move around and social distance. We think that that's extremely important this year. So let me show you how these rooms will be configured. Again, this is ballroom A, this is ballroom B. On the other side of the partition wall is ballroom C, and we'll use that as a breakout. Front-end dev will be over there. But these are very large. So our staging, our speaker, the area from which our speakers will speak to the audience will be located here at the front of the room. We'll have monitors located, very large monitors located here at the front of the room. This is ballroom B. Over here is ballroom A. And we'll have staging and monitors in each of these rooms, and seating configured accordingly. Okay, so we just wrapped up the 4th floor ballroom tour. Again, we have 3 ballrooms up on the 4th floor, A, B, and C. They'll be utilized for keynotes and for breakout tracks during the conference in October. So with all that said, let's move down to the 3rd floor. 3rd floor is where the majority of the breakout rooms will be and breakout tracks. So if you're attending a track session, you'll actually be attending down on the 3rd floor. So let's go take a quick look. Okay, so we just left the 4th floor ballrooms. We came down the escalator and we're now down on the 3rd floor, which in Raleigh, that's the main floor, the street side floor. That's where the lobby is and the registration and check-in stations are. So I want to first show you one of the smaller breakout rooms, one of the smaller track rooms. You know, in the past, these have been seated. I'll say the seats have been clustered very close together, and we typically have people lining the back walls and sitting in floors and things like that. If you've attended before, that might be what where your mind goes when thinking about a breakout session at ATO. This year it's going to be very different, as you can see from the seat configuration that we currently have set up. This is exactly how it's going to be in October. Let me start with the front of the room. We'll have the speaker podium over here. We'll have a big monitor, a large monitor configured here. Plenty of space between the speaker and the front row of attendees. I would say maybe 8 feet or thereabouts, 6 to 8 feet, or in that general range. And then you can see the tables configured in classroom style. And on this side of the room, only three chairs per 2 tables. So what that results in, or what that equates to, is about 6 to 8 feet between each person. So a lot of distance between each person. Over on the right, 2 chairs per table, and that equates to probably 5 to 6 feet of space between each attendee or each person that's going to be seated at these tables in these rooms. So again, a priority this year is to give you an opportunity to distance socially, not only in the common areas, i.e. the lobby and in the hallways, but also in each of the classrooms or the breakout rooms as well. So hopefully we've done a good job of maybe putting some thought into this to give you an opportunity to do that, to be as safe as possible. So with that being said, this is a smaller breakout room. We're now going to step next door and show you what a larger breakout room is going to be. This year, as opposed to the past, we're going to drop some partition walls and we're going to open up some of our breakout rooms to give you even more space to kind of move around and more space to socially distance in. So with that, if you'll follow me over. Okay, so here we are in one of our large breakout rooms. Again, this year we're doing things a little bit differently. In past years, we've kept the partition walls up in each of these rooms to create smaller, separate rooms to give us more rooms to do more sessions in and host more tracks in. We're not doing that this year. Again, we are going to have some of the smaller rooms, but we're also going to have some of the much larger rooms where we're going to bring those partition walls down, and this happens to be one of them. So I want to show you what it's going to look like in here in October in our large breakout rooms. Even though the room right now is configured with round tables, during the event in October, these rooms are going to be configured similarly, very much like the room we just left, which is a smaller one, meaning classroom-style seating, tables, and staggered seating at each of the tables. That's going to result in fewer people attending these sessions, fewer people being able to consume the content, but that's okay this year. That's, according to guideline, that's exactly what we want to accomplish. That's right in line with what we want the outcome to be. So again, just imagine, use your imaginations for just a second, classrooms, configured seating in this room, and then staggered seating at each of the tables. We're doing that to space out all of our attendees, to give you room to socially distance, to be distanced from one another, to decrease the probability of anything negatively happening. Again, everybody's going to be masked, and we've got our temperature check stations and our temperature checks and everything like that, that process that you'll go through before you ever even get into the building. But once you're in, we want to do everything we can to keep you as safe as possible as well. So during the conference in October, we will have seating. Seating will be configured facing that wall, facing you, and then behind you will be the speaker podium and all of our monitoring and things like that. So attendees in each of our breakout rooms will be facing this wall, will be facing you watching me right now, and the speaker will be configured behind you and positioned behind you, speaking to me, the attendee. So that's the basic configuration. The takeaways, or the pull quotes, journalistically speaking, are that we are lowering the partition walls to create more space in these rooms, to really open it up, to give you more room to distance yourselves from one another so that we decrease the probability, again, of anything negatively happening. So with all that said, again, we just covered, we're on the 3rd floor, one of the smaller breakout rooms. This is one of the larger breakout rooms. Let's head outside now. Now we're going to go outside. We are going to host a few networking socials. We have a welcome social on Sunday the 17th. We're going to show you where that is. We're actually going to do those outside this year. Again, to give you some fresh air, not host them in confined spaces. That's what we're working very hard to avoid. So with all that being said, let's leave this room and head outside. Okay, everyone, this is the final stop on our tour. We're actually outside the convention center now. We're on the north side. And as you can see Sir Raleigh right here to my right, the statue that's really kind of an iconic statue, an iconic symbol in downtown Raleigh. We'll actually show you that. But we're going to host our welcome social outside this year in this location. So there's a very nice patio here on the north side that faces the city. And that is what we're going to utilize this year. In past years, our welcome socials have been indoors. We're not going to do that this year. Once again, we want to provide as many social distancing opportunities as possible, give you as many opportunities to get outside and to network and socialize as we possibly can. This is another example. Our welcome social will take place on Sunday, October the 17th. It'll start at about 6 o'clock. What we'll do is we're going to host our co-located events, Inclusion and Diversity, the Community Leadership Summit, and our half-day hackathon will be located indoors in varying locations throughout the building on Sunday, and then those will last until about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. After those have wrapped up, then everybody can come outside and attend the welcome social. So this is where it's going to be. I'm under a covered area right now. In case you haven't noticed, it's raining behind me, but this area will actually serve as our bar area. We'll actually have served drinks and some other things out here. And then this area, the courtyard behind me, the veranda here, the patio, will be where you can network without a face mask. Again, a face mask will not be required outdoors. You're certainly welcome and even encouraged to wear one outdoors, but it's not going to be required. So again, we're going to utilize this space. If it happens to be raining in October like it is today, we will have tents, we will have some covering out here for you to keep you from getting wet. So again, our welcome social Sunday at 6 o'clock. One thing that we are going to do that's different is offer programming. Adam from NASA is going to be doing a sit-down interview and showing some slides and talking about the latest mission to Mars and the utilization of open source software on that mission, and that programming is going to take place from 7 to 7:30. So the welcome social will start at 6, about an hour of networking. We'll go inside for those that want to listen to the interview with Adam. That will last about 30 minutes. 7:30, everyone inside will head back outside for another half hour to an hour of networking, and that will be the welcome social in 2021. Okay, so let's head back indoors for a few final thoughts, and with all that, let's go. All right, before we leave you today, I do want to leave you with a couple of final thoughts. Number one, we are engaging in and adopting and implementing some additional safety protocols this year. I do just want to let you know, again, summarize what those are. We're utilizing as much outdoor space as we possibly can this year. Early in the tour, you saw that. There's a really nice patio, very large patio here in Raleigh at the Convention Center outdoors. We're going to make use of that as much as we possibly can. That's going to be an outdoor networking area. That's where we're going to host phase 1 of our wellness check station. And also that's where we're going to host our welcome social on Sunday evening, October the 17th. We want to give you access to as much fresh air opportunities as possible. We owe you that much, and we certainly think that's going to be best, especially this year. Also, we do have the wellness check station in place. Phase 1 is going to be outside before you ever get into the building. You're going to have to answer some health-related questions, 3 or 4 of them, and that's also where the verification process is going to take place, vaccination verification, etc. So you'll have to do that before you ever get into the building. You'll then proceed to phase 2 of the wellness check station, which will be the wrist-based temperature check and also the banding process to indicate that you've successfully met all the criteria to pass through. And at that point, you'll proceed to the registration and check-in kiosk. At that point, you'll be inside the building. Also, there is a face covering mandate that we're implementing this year. We are going to enforce that. We'll have face masks and face coverings available for you here. So feel free to bring your own, but if not, we will have them here for you, provided by us and by sponsors. Also, we are decreasing and limiting attendance this year. So it's not going to be as congested as it has been in past years. The traffic flow is going to be lower. There's going to be less traffic flow and just overall congestion this year compared to past years of the event. Final thing that we're doing is in our breakout rooms and in our content delivery areas, we are opening them up. We're dropping partition walls to spread the seating out a little bit more to allow for more social distancing. So those are just some of the things we're doing. We are doing some other things. I would encourage you to check those out on our website. There's a section, a menu section called COVID-19 or COVID-19 policy. Everything that we're doing is included there. Finally, I do want to end on this note. I sincerely want to thank you for watching the video and for considering joining us this year. Folks, we know there's a lot of apprehension and a lot of concern this year around COVID. We have it as well. We all have families, we all have kids, so we're feeling it as well. So just know that we are doing everything we can to be as safe as possible, and we really appreciate your consideration of joining us on site. And if not, that's perfectly okay. There's no obligation, obviously, to come on site. That's why we're offering virtual programming this year. So most everything, I think the very large percentage of the overall content that's being featured this year will be live streamed to the virtual platform. So if you don't feel comfortable in any way, join us on the virtual platform. Again, most of the content will be available there. It's free to attend. Thanks to our presenting level sponsors. So with that, thank you again. We hope to see you in October. Between now and then, if you have any questions, contact us directly at info@allthingsopen.org. But we'll see you in October and hopefully even before then. Take care. Thanks again.